Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with the 12th layout using the January hip kit. So I'm down to, quite a bit of scraps. I don't have too many full sheets of pattern paper, but what I can tell you really helped really kind of beef up this kit was that 6x6 paper pad because, I think there was like 36 sheets in there. So I have been using that quite a bit for the layering, which kind of frees up those 12 by 12, as far as background and more for bigger pieces on the layout. So I'm going to use that pattern paper, and I don't know, I think it's from Dear Lizzie Serendipity, but I wasn't paying attention to the little screen there. I was looking at the layout when it went through, but I did show you the branding strip. And then I'm going to use that pattern paper with the polka dots, and the back side is hearts, and I'm going to use that as quite a big element on my layout. And this picture is I did it up in my pick frame app, and is of my daughter and her boyfriend. And on February 13th, she was off in the afternoon. Like, she works from 6 to 2, and she has 3 jobs. But anyway, she wasn't working the other 2 jobs that night, and her Pat was working so till 10:30. So she texted me and she said, "What are you doing? I feel like coming over." I said, "Come on over." And so we went to her brother's hockey game, and we ended up going a little too early. And I said, "Do you want to go to the dollar store?" And she said, "Oh, it's like you read my mind." She said, "I want to do sort of crafty things for Pat for Valentine's Day tomorrow." So we went to the dollar store, and she got those little mixed media canvas. They're thin. They're not like the ones that you get at Michael's. They're just like a piece. They're flat. And then she got stuff to make him a card and everything. And she said, when we get back from hockey, it'll be like arts and craft night. So we did this mixed media, with pattern paper and the gesso and the inks and the rub-ons and stamping. And oh, she had a blast. And actually a week later, she came back because she again wasn't working one night, and her and her brother did one. And so I'll probably do a layout on that too. But so this one, where in the Kiss Kiss collection that we got in the kit, there was a chipboard 12 by 12 sheet, and then there was the a specialty paper that was all 3 by 4 cards. It was all geared, well, a lot of it was geared towards Valentine's Day, and I'm not the mushy type. And last year I got stuff for my husband for Valentine's Day, and it was only because I had forgotten my husband's birthday last year. So my son, on February 13th, I was working, and he said, "Mom, you forgot Dad's birthday. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day. You're not forgetting Valentine's Day. So we're going to go shopping, and you're going to get stuff for Dad." So last year was one of the first times that I did, something for Valentine's Day. And this year we had a hockey game. So our Valentine's Day was spent in a hockey rink. And so it was perfect for this layout, though, because she, I had kind of done this for Valentine's Day. So I was like, yay, I'm going to be able to use that up. So that pattern paper, I really liked it, but I wanted to work it a little bit because it was white with black polka dots, and I want to keep it with the black and the pink. She, first of all, really loves black and pink together. And the mixed media board that she did was in the pinks and the blacks because she loves it so much. So I just wanted to keep that in those colors. And in order to sort of work the background, what I'm doing is I'm adding some gesso, and I'm just using a palette knife and a sponge. I'm using sort of both. I'm using the sponge for the smoother, and then the palette knife because I want extra texture. So I'm not being really careful. I'm leaving sort of like areas where there's little dips and, you know, not smooth with the palette knife, so that it adds extra texture to the layout. And then I'm going to dry that up, or I'm going to let it dry, one or the other. I did this layout, I'd say about 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember. Oh yeah, I did use my heat gun and dried it up. And then I'm going to add some inks to the background. And I can't remember if it is from the Distress Stains or actually inks, spray mist. But I guess we'll find out together. So what I'm going to do on this layout is that pattern paper with the dark pink and the lighter pink polka dots. I'm going to actually use that so that I can build a grid on that pattern paper. I love doing grids, and I love trying to find different ways to do the grids. So this time around, I just used that pattern paper in the size that it was. I think I cut maybe 2 inches off the bottom because then it was going to be too long. But the width, I kept it the width that it was. And then I'm going to build a grid on that pattern paper. And another thing that I like is in that grid, I like stuff to kind of poke out and come away from it so that it's not a perfect grid. So the top card is going to, you know, kind of go above the layout or above that grid. So I guess what I did was I used a My Favorite Things ink pad that we got in a Hip Kit kit. I think it was October maybe, or maybe it was September. It was quite a few months ago. And I love that shade of pink. So I put it on some packaging, added some water to it just to make it more fluid, and then just flipped it over and just barely touched the paper and kind of smoosh it around, and it just gives it that extra texture to it. Now I'm going to take directly the ink pad to the pattern paper, and I'm going to add some pink to all the embellishments, including the 3x4 cards, and I don't know if I added to the chipboard. I don't think so, because I find chipboard, it's kind of hard to add some color to it, and it's got already dimension to it, so it already pops off the page. And now I'm going to mat that photo that I created in my pick frame app. So basically it's I'd say it's about 2 inches by 3 inches, 2 inches wide by 3 inches tall, and in my pick frame app. And then I printed it with my Canon Selfie, and I'm going to mount it on this black cardstock. It's just a scrap that I had. And what I do is, you know, when I start a kit and I start cutting into some cardstock, I just keep it with all my pattern papers and stuff, because what happens is, because of the tone of the kit, chances are I'm going to need that cardstock again at one point. So I like to keep it together. And then I brought in a lot of, there was a pattern paper from September Skies from Heidi Swap. And it was just a sheet or pattern paper just filled with flowers. And I'm getting low on embellishments at this point. As far as paper embellishments, I've used up quite a bit. I think by the time I put this kit away, I will have killed this kit. I think at this point, I don't think I have any embellishments left from the Heidi Swap die cut or ephemera pack, which is quite an accomplishment. There was 104 pieces, and then that 12 by 12 cardstock from the from Crate Paper Kiss Kiss, there was like 60 pieces on that, and I think I have 2 pieces left. And I don't know if I'll be able to use them, but if I can, I certainly will. So we will see. as soon as I'm done this voiceover, I'm going to be starting layout 16 using the January kit. And I've received my February kit. I've done the paper selection. I've done the picture selection. I've pulled together all the embellishments. But I usually don't get my kits till the 16th of the month or the 18th of the month. So I have still like almost 3 weeks before I get my March kit. So I'm not too worried. I'm going to try and kill this kit, this January kit. I'm, ready to go with my February kit. So as soon as I am done, I think I might have 1, maybe 2 layouts left, which the January kit, and then I'll be able to hit the ground running with the February kit, and hopefully I can, kind of bust it out before the March kit gets here. I also just posted today my first Project Life process video, and it's a long one, so make sure that you have a cup of coffee and maybe a few snacks so that you can make it through that lengthy video. But so January's done, February's, the month of February's almost done. So what I want to do is next week I want to bust out the January Project Life process too, and then I'll be all caught up. So now that I've got the first one under my belt kind of thing, I know that I'll keep up with it. For me, it's just to get that first thing going and just get it off the ground kind of thing. And now I know that, I can, it was fun. I had a bunch of fun getting it done, and I kind of have a plan, I guess, for the rest of them. Because I got the life documented, and there's specific colors for every month. So I know probably this afternoon I'm going to sit down and start pulling all the die cuts and the labels and everything that are in the pink, because with the life documented, the second month was in pink. So I'll get that done this afternoon. So next week when February's done, I guess there's only today, and what day are we today? Yeah, there's only 2 days left. So by Sunday, by Sunday, I'm going to be ready to start the February process project. I guess I walked away here. I don't edit my videos too much because it's everything is time consuming. But I think I'm coming back here. I guess I went to get something to drink because I was a little thirsty. So the main thing that I wanted to use on this page was those big flowers that I had cut from the September Skies Heidi swap, and then a whole bunch of chipboard from the Kiss Kiss collection from Crate Paper. So now the base of the layout is all done. Now I'm ready to, start gluing everything down. So I'm using a Tim Holtz tool to just distress the edges of all the flowers, and then I'm going to start gluing them down. And I'm just using my ATG gun. And ever since I did that trick that Sarah Swan shared on her YouTube video about taking the part that normally keeps the leftovers in place and flipped it backwards and put it where the new roll is, like where the tape is, I've had basically no issues with my tape runner. So I think what I'll do is, because it goes so quickly on the video, is next time I need to change my tape runner, I'll just do a quick how-to video on how to change your tape runner, and then I'll just have it on my YouTube channel. So I know, there's quite a few new people that are new to scrapbooking. So if, it's not something that you change often, your tape runners. So especially if you don't scrapbook a lot, I usually have to change mine about once every week or 2 weeks, depending on how much scrapbooking I get done. And So it's just nice to have a little reference on, how to get that changed up. So I had a few die cuts that were left from the Heidi swap. There was that camera, and it was in the gray, and it's kind of grayish black, like maybe like a light black. So I just distressed the edges with some black ink, and I'm going to use it on this layout. I had one puffy sticker left, and it was the one with the jar and the flowers at the top, and the jar didn't really go on this layout. So what I did is I just cut off the jar and then threw it out, and then I just used a little puffy flowers on this. And then, now I'm just kind of putting the chipboard around on the layout wherever I find, they kind of fit well. There was from the Dear Lizzie Serendipity, we got a whole bunch. I think there was like 24 maybe, and it was like labels that came in a box, and they were all attached to one another. And there was ticket ones, and then there were some that said best ever, and another one that said happy. And I'm trying my best to use them all up. I think I found a way to use the rest of them up. I think I have like 12 left. And that's actually the next layout that I'm going to do to try to use those up, because that's pretty much the only thing that I have left. That and the 6x6 paper pad, which I know there's no way I'm going to be able to use that 6x6 paper pad in its entirety, because I'm basically out of embellishments. So I'm going to have to kind of, call it killed and kind of move on. But I used the chipboard that says Kiss Kiss, and then I end up layering another heart that came from that same chipboard sheet. And then I have to put some foam tape underneath because, of the dimension. And then I'm going to use the Happy Together. And I didn't think I was going to be able to use that big title or that big word that said Happy Valentine's Day, but I was able to use it on this. And then I used three of the 3x4 cards. One says, I love you with all my heart. The other one says, in love. And the great thing is I'm getting a lot of my journaling done as I'm getting my layouts done. Not on camera, but right after. My goal this year was to get 15 layouts journal from past layouts. But another thing I'm trying to do is, if I don't journal on the layouts that I get done this year, then what's going to happen is at the end of the year, I'm going to end up, because my goal is to get 180 layouts done this year. I'm going to end up with 180 layouts that is not journaled on. But my layouts from last year will be journaled on. And that's really I'm not gaining anything if I do that. So I'm trying to journal on as much as possible on the layouts that I'm getting done per month. So basically what it's going to end up being is that I'm going to end up journaling about 30 layouts a month is what it's going to end up being. And that's kind of neat. I think I have quite a few albums, because every time they go on sale at Michael's, for the longest time I would, buy one. So I think I might be down to like 6 or 7. So that should house almost all of them. And my other issue was that I didn't have enough page protectors, and I've placed 2 different orders with Studio Calico. So now I have 120 page protectors. So I had ordered a couple packs from Stampin' Up. So I must have close to 150 now. And so I'll be good for a while, because what I want to do is, as soon as I journal on these layouts, I want to put them away. So I have about 5 albums right now that I have on the go from different years or different events, and I'm putting them in the right album as I journal on them. So I feel like I'm getting so much more done than 15 layouts a month, because I'm getting those in order, which feels kind of good. And so I used quite a few of those chipboard stickers on this layout. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces just on this layout. So that is nice. And then I used 4 of 3x4 cards. One of them said XOXO and it was cut out at the top or throughout the card. And I cut a piece off of it and I made it so that it was sort of off that grid, and the flowers too are off the grid, so that it kind of adds, again, texture to the layout. Now I added some India ink in 3 different spots on the layout, and that's going to pretty much complete the layout. I don't know if I'm going to do the journaling on the camera or not. This layout, by the way, took me 1 hour and 24 minutes to complete. So not a quick layout, but there was quite a bit of stuff to get done, to the layout. So that's it. I'm going to show you now some close-ups of every embellishment clusters. And the page is done. So if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up just to let YouTube know. So thanks for watching. Bye.